And we're back with my next guest, who I'm very pleased and honored and privileged to have with me, General Robert Chelberg. Thanks for being with me, General.
Thank you, Barry.
The General is involved with the Wounded Warriors of South Florida, so I'd like to ask you first, what's the mission of the Wounded Warriors of South Florida, and how do you provide assistance to wounded warriors, and what area do you cover?
Well, the mission is to provide temporary and immediate financial assistance to service-connected Purple Heart recipients and service-connected disabled veterans who have been in Operation Rocky Freedom, Operation Enduring Freedom, Operation New Dawn, and the last two operations were in Afghanistan. We provide services by first looking to see if they're having trouble with rent or mortgage payments. They might need food on the table. Cars are very important to get to work and to do things, and a lot of times they need money for repair parts, put the parts on the car, insurance, payments for the car, gas, so on. We also provide services like some home repair, and specifically when we get into big repairs, we get some help sometimes from organizations like Lowe's and Home Depot, which is very helpful. And also we try to maintain a small amount of furniture in our area where we store things, so that if a veteran gets a new home and has no furniture, we try to get them started. So all of these things are kind of assistance that we do, but they have to qualify by going to the VA Medical Center and being classified as a service-connected disability person, and they'll have to show their DD Form 214, which is a document that everyone gets when they separate from the services. And when the VA says this person is okay, then we can go to work with them. But we go on their assessment.
What areas do you cover?
The areas where we go from north of Vero Beach all the way down to Key West, and then from north of Vero Beach over to Tampa, and then Tampa down to Marco Island. It's a big area.
It's a big area.
Yeah.
So what makes the Wounded Warriors of South Florida different from other nonprofit veterans groups out there? And what are the requirements to be able to receive assistance?
Well, to begin with, the Wounded Warrior Project is a national organization. They have big programs like education, technology transfer. They do some peer support. They have rehabilitative retreats and national advertising. But none of their money comes back to anybody in our organization in Wounded Warriors of South Florida, nor do they have any affiliation with us. So we're separate and distinct, and they're separate and distinct. And so we're local. We're the Wounded Warriors of South Florida. And the other part you asked for?
Also about what are the requirements, but I think you covered that already. Can you give me an example of a success story that would resonate with our program viewers?
Yes. Take an example, we had an enlisted person who was in the Marine Corps, was over there in Afghanistan, and got wounded and was medically evacuated back to the States for treatment. And while he was undergoing his treatment, he finished his college degree, got a bachelor's degree, and then decided he wanted to become an officer. So he applied to the Marine Corps to become an officer, and went to the officer basic course, passed that, and later as a captain he found himself back in Afghanistan leading an operation when his vehicle, a big up armored vehicle, hit an improvised explosive device, an IED, and it was a big one, and his vehicle was pushed up in the air over 10 feet. And in this he lost the hearing in one ear, and got shrapnel on his back, and so medically evacuated again. He came back home here to a home that was unfit to live in, and no job. And so we worked with him in terms of food stamps, gas stamps, get his car running, and help him get a new place to live, and so on and so forth. And today he's got a job, and he's looking for a better one that will take care of his knowledge and skills.
So donors to nonprofits are concerned about administrative costs. So how do you keep your administrative costs down?
Well, we have to focus on it, Barry. You try to make sure on all your overhead and your other expenses, like trying to promote charity events and so on, you keep it as low as possible. We try to stay way under 20%.
Oh.
Because we want to use that money to help wounded warriors and not be spending it on costs that we don't have to do.
What's the meaning of the Veterans Administration backlog and the number of claims being processed, and what is the projection for the future?
It's a very important question. The backlog right now, even the president said a while back just that the backlog was for right now 495,000.
Wow.
And the total number that have applicants in is over 790,000. So the numbers are big, and the problems are such that the people in the backlog is defined as 125 days. And so they're waiting, but a lot of people have had to wait 18 months or more, and some 2 years.
I know a friend who's in that situation. It's so untenable, and I've tried to get him some help through our local Congress people and that sort of thing, and media exposure too. What does the Affordable Care Act mean to a veteran and or his family?
Well, right now it's a good thing for the veteran who's working in the VA system. And I would encourage all vets out there to go to the VA center and try to get in the system, because the Affordable Care Act will have no impact on you. And in fact, money out of pocket expenses probably will not change at all for a veteran that way. And they're looking at a insurance in the marketplace, health insurance in the marketplace, which will allow those families to try to get some insurance at a lower cost. So I encourage all vets to go to their medical center, and if they need to, just call this number 1-877-222-VETS and start asking your questions.
Finally, what are some of the upcoming events for Wounded Warriors of South Florida, and where would someone go to find that information if they wanted to attend or provide financial support?
Well, the first one is not a charity event. It's the VA Center is going to have a welcome home on the 19th of October this month at Okehele Park that's north of Palm Beach, and it'll be from 1 to 4 in the afternoon. There'll be games for the kids and all sorts of things going on, very friendly, and they're encouraging all the vets that were in these conflicts for the last 12 years over there in other parts of the world to come on out and get welcome home and see what the VA Center can do for them.
That's great.
On the charity side, our next event will be on the 27th and 28th of October. The Palm Beach Yacht Club is supporting a fundraiser for us and a Place of Hope, which is a church-supported charity. And they're going to have a gala on one night and then a golf charity tournament the next day.
Why don't you give out your contact information where people can reach you, and the email address, phone, and website?
Okay. We'd encourage you to go to our website, and that's www.ofsf.com. It stands for Wounded Warriors of South Florida. And there you can see all the things that we have ongoing, our future events that are planned, and you can get a lot of your questions answered, and phone numbers are there also.
Well, I appreciate you being with me, and I thank you so much for being on. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on.
Thank you, Barry.
Take care, and we'll be right back.